Hello, everybody. Thank you for stopping by, Mr. Pace. I'm going to try to make this short and do the best I can. I can't promise anything, but let's give it a shot. The train of thought on the previous videos I recorded weren't really very good, and I deleted them for a reason, because I wanted to do something and decided to take a different tact. So we're going to state some facts. Fact, I have 21 phone calls between me, Mr. Stinson, his wife, and his mother-in-law that took place prior to the election and just a little bit afterwards. Fact. Sherry Ringen called me 14 times that I have a record of, and not once in any of those calls that I could find did she tell me not to record her. Fact. It was Sherry Ringen who blew a gasket on the phone over this document called the Court of Public Opinion, which I gave to everybody but Mr. Lukens. I'm going to fix that. Fact. When I asked for public records and the chairman of the board spits in my face because I'm showing him the proof and the truth, and I said, I'm not going to pay for a document because you guys don't want to produce the entire document, is not on me. That's what happened. Fact. Troy Stinson tried to use his Coptum and his badge as recorded and as transcribed for me by the transcriptionist of the court to obtain a restraining order. Fact. Troy Stinson tried to use his family in that restraining order. Fact. Troy tried to use his Coptum to also get a restraining order. Fact, Mr. Stinson lost the case. Fact, I was not awarded my fees by the court because I filed late. Fact, I can still go after Mr. Stinson for the money because it's still money to make me whole for what I had to do. Fact, in 2014 I made a statement on a website that is no longer up and running about what would happen if anybody took me back to court again for something I didn't do to bar me from using these facilities. Fact. Fact, it's on record. The fact, it's part of the criminal case and the restraining order. Fact, Ted Bendelow was brought here to take me out. Fact, Sherry Ringen and Nicole Vance Fisher were pissed off at what was going on. Fact, I have 4 phone calls between me and Mrs. Vance. Fact, Troy Stinson blocked what they were trying to do, which is what caused the events surrounding the restraining order. Fact, Woodland Hills Metropolitan District was getting ready to sue me again under the ruse and the guise of open records. Fact, I did submit 160 to 70 core requests. Fact, I was asked to resubmit documents over and over and over again because they couldn't understand what I was asking for. Fact, Ted Bendelow. Fact, this district isn't working for you. Fact, the people that you voted for made statements at Guadalupe's that they are currently contradicting about how they were not going to be like the other boards. Fact. Fact that Mr. Stinson had a private conversation with 2 individuals, one of which recorded that private conversation at Guadalupe's. Fact, I'm retrieving a copy of it. And fact, that person is going to show up at a board meeting and tell me exactly what he intended on doing, which is not what is going on now. Fact, in April, just before the election, Mr. Stinson predicted just about exactly how many votes he was going to get. Fact. Fact, Mr. Stinson told me that they should be releasing the payables. Fact, Sherry Ringen, fact, Nicole Vance, all said that at the meeting at Guadalupe's. Fact, the lady that was sitting beside, I think, Mrs. Ringen in the recording stated that she could do a better job with the books. Fact, Sherry Ringen wanted to bring in a family member to go over the books because of what she found. Fact, it was Sherry Ringen who explained to me the information that was given over the phone was given to me by her because she had discovered that it was in fact Woodman Hills lawyers that were involved in the litigation of trying to take my house. Fact, I'm going to take Woodman Hills back to court because Woodman Hills thought they were going to get away with what they did because they kept the lawyer that is still here now. Fact, Edward Bendelow, as now professed by 2 board members, ex-board members, and 1 other individual, was that Ted Bendelow was brought in here to take me out. Fact, the reason why Mrs. Peterson was going to leave and gave her notice the year prior was due to me, and the district was going to make it look like it was my fault, so they would have the premise to take me to court, which is exactly what Troy Stinson is trying to do now. Fact, I have had to redo the videos to cut out all but the public comment sections to send them to an agency that wants to review them, and it's not the Colorado Springs Police Department. Fact, Troy Stinson's restraining order was retaliation for a phone call I made to a sergeant, as admitted in court, because I wanted to find a way to file a complaint against Mr. Stinson for going after me and calling me all kinds of names. Fact. And it's that fact and those reasons just stated above as to the reason why I have a legal right, because Mr. Stinson is an elected official. The fact that he's a police officer is not germane to what I'm allowed to do legally against a public official. He's also, you're going to love this, okay? He's a person that works for the public. Understand that? So, what happened is that you didn't read the documents or listen to the recordings. I did. And I also had an attorney listen to them. And based on that information, I have 2 years to get my money back, which won't be very hard to do unless Ted jumps in again, as I suspect he did to help Troy with his responses to the court. We're not following a lot of things that were said that were going to take place. Okay? And the board has not done it. By my recollection, and from what I can see visually, Troy has this board by the balls, with the exception of Mr. Lukens. And Mr. Lukens, I did not give you a copy of the Court of Public Opinion because I thought you already had it. My bad, you're getting it. And when a government agency tries to shut down someone because he wants them to follow the law and keep up with their promises, the best part about this will be fact. The videos and the phone calls I have that I will be using as my evidence to show just exactly that the statements made to the court about the Stinson family were false. Fact. That's why I had them loaded and ready for the restraining order case, which was way too long. Fact. Mr. Stinson was building a criminal case against me under Criminal Code 18 about posting information about a peace officer or a law enforcement agent, to which the judge shot that down. Fact. I'm going to give Mr. Stinson a chance to resign and take Ted Bendelow with him. That's it. I don't have to make any more statements other than that. Mrs. Ringen, I have no respect for someone who told me on a call in a parking lot where I was working that you were going to stand up at a meeting and clear the record, only to allow them to add to the record a copy of a document I could not refute because I did not receive it until the morning of a hearing. I didn't have a chance to file anything. That's why I know those recordings that we had over the phone are going to be paramount in any civil action I deem necessary, and Mr. Bendelow will not be allowed to interfere. I'm Mr. Pace. The reason why I do this is not for just my benefit. It's for the benefit of everybody here who bought into the mantra that the bills would go down as the homes increased, and it didn't happen. Let's thank the ladies at the Clerk and Recorder's Office, the Secretary of State's new secretary. Congratulations on your win. I want to also thank the people down in Mr. Browerman's office for their help at the assessor. I also want to thank those people, the lay people that were assisting me, and a big shout out to Mr. Dave Stiver for being a whole lot smarter than I am and telling me to keep it cool. But now I have a legal right under the law to do what I'm going to do now, which is communicate to this community just what took place up to this point. Because I cannot and will not allow it to happen to me again, nor will I allow this district, knowing what Lynn Bliss, Frank Gonzalez, and Rusty Green did with the communications director, and you know who you are, involving the newsletter. And yes, I have a right to seek reparations for the statements made by this district about the money they spent in legal fees combating me, which are not accurate. That's why Mr. Stinson said, fact, he didn't want to ruin lives. Thank you for stopping by. I don't have to get mad, because when this all comes out in the wash, a lot of people are going to be wishing that I was long gone yesterday. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate all you've done for those people who have assisted me. It's really made things easier. And I will be making the payment for those unredacted payables, which Sherry Ringen explained to me contain one hell of amount of information about stuff I know exists. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Go out and have an ice cream with your kids or something, and maybe go bowling. Leave the hard work to me, because I know that I'm going to probably end up in jail because someone's going to say something about me to have me arrested for something I didn't do. Oh, wait a minute, somebody already tried to do that. Have a good day, folks. Remember, I'm also a veteran, and I'm not about to give up any rights for anybody or allow any rights to be taken away from anybody as long as I'm above dirt. Thanks for stopping by.